killed hip hop, you killed hip hop, I killed hip hop, we all killed hip hop. Who killed hip hop? You killed hip hop, I killed hip hop, we all killed it.
Nzijukira muchenda mu musambu mu mwezi gw'omusanvu Yanga vibes baleeta oluyimba le bajja wampologoma muchenda mu mwenda bataka ne baleeta ntova mpozi ne mu 12 ng'atandika ne baleeta sesetula mu biseera byebimu waliwo abajja n'ebidandali ne bassa hip hop wansi ne bambusa ebidandali okuva mu 2008 hip hop kaddanga waggulu era tulwana bwezizingirwa okulaba nga tumussa waggulu hip hop mu Uganda mwali n'abamwagala mbalaba n'abo bekusongeddeko waggulu hip hop bamweyagaliza mokka okolotya konsati ya hip hop ng'ejjuddeko bakidandala tebuli amukola mu hiti yamuvaamu n'adda mu kidandali wuyo twajjirwa ne bapulisenta beekolera ebyabwe okugattako zange z'abatuuza baana mu ghetto bwe tweyamba musanga ku mutaasa n'emikwano tukuba kebi kuhamu saawundi ziine mu MC nkuba mu rali stories abalambuzi bulayigambo budde bwakyuse bwebeera paale embuzi tusala namba mumayina okubaawo kimanyi italyambiziini n'emikwano emisiraamu
bwetwekutte assalamu alaikum Mungu atuweddembe shaitani tasobola twawulira mu ddiini Allah katonda wa buli omu akolerera eddembe.
Yo, I can't believe that. You said this track is from about 7 years ago.
Yeah, 8 years ago, man.
8
R.I.P. Momo MC, you know what I'm saying, my man. You know what this is, about a year and 2 years ago. Man. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is like old school music.
And you can still go bar for bar, right?
Evergreen,
Ladies and gentlemen, if you just tuned in, this is the TFM Hip Hop Show right here on 95.9 Touch FM with me, So Severe. At about 8 minutes past the hour of 7, it's Babaluku in the house.
Yes, sir.
The one who started off the hour with that track called Ug-Hiphop of the Ug-Hiphop Revolution.
Indeed.
Oh man,
the Ug-Hiphop Revolution.
Dope stuff. And the song that closed off the hour was "Who Killed Hip Hop."
Yeah.
And you had a couple of reactions to that.
My simple reaction is that my man Malakwa did his thing. I like the fact that he went back, chronologically and tried to place his times of when he saw hip hop start growing. You know what I'm saying? And then in a contrast, I also felt like if the other verse could also lead us into like the whole colonial contrast of MCs have been rapping in English, where they started from, and they also came back. It could teach us more on how people really appreciate the art. As far as like drawing a contrast of, because there's always been this debate. People know me as the dude who advocated for assassinating English MCs. You know what I'm saying?
But you kind of did that.
Oh yeah, I did. I don't apologize. It's unapologetic. I had to do it. Growing up in Canada, you come back home and you're like, shoot, ain't no MCs really proud to rap in my language. What the hell is this? Like, I'm coming home. I ain't trying to come home to feel like I'm abroad. So, I really had to be like, yo, hold up, man. We really got to stand from where we come from first and then represent everything else. Until today, I still put up, that debate, that conversation. I tell people that, yo, I left Uganda when I was 12 years old. I'm proud to be able to communicate with my grandpops today in my language. There's something about that. And I wouldn't like kids today who are born in privileged homes or families to always lose the authenticity that they could offer the world. And so, promoting logo fluent indigenous hip hop is that campaign of giving young Africans, you know what I'm saying? The reclaiming of my glory. My story is not just some emulated character out of education systems. You know what I'm saying? My story starts at home in the village. You know what I mean? I'm trying, you know what I mean? So keep the village alive in you, because if you lose the village, you'll become, a puppet, a cologne, a part of the condition, statistics, you know what I'm saying? Of look at him in his tie. Clocking him for the man, blue collar worker. You know what I'm saying? All of this stuff comes with you, and then you slave away the rest of your life while you're alive in the continent at the source of life.
But I don't know, man. You feel like you're coming on too strong to some of us. Like,
yeah, I've been strong since the beginning. I don't know how not to be strong. You want me to waken up a bit?
No, I'm just saying.
Tone it down. I'm like, I love everybody.
I'm just saying, though. Like, is it? Did you not start off rapping in English or something?
Thank you very much. You can you take it home. Yo, I was rapping in English, straight up, like Bataka Squad. We actually used to do cover songs for Outkast. You know, then we got into writing our own songs. You know what I'm saying? And later on, like, it was actually 1996. We were chosen to go to Mwanza in Sinani Island to represent Hip Hop Uganda at the Hip Hop Summit. And then, yo, all of these dudes were dropping it in Swahili, bro. So we looked at, matter of fact, the dudes called us out on the mic. They're like, what's up with those guys from Uganda? They don't speak any of their languages? How come they were, you know what I mean? Trust me, I can never forget that moment as an MC. You understand me?
I hear you.
Because in that point, you're like, yo, I'm weak, bro. These brothers are telling me I need to go do some work. So I didn't take it bad. I went home and I said, I'm going to put in some work. And that, you know, I needed some, you know, some self-esteem back into being able to rap in my own tongue. You know, it was a process. It was not overnight. It actually, I could say that it took me like 3 or 4 years to actually even think that I could do it after that incident.
3 or 4 years.
Yes, trying to like be like, yo, are people gonna love it, man? You know, you get this like, you know, inferiority complex on like, but they've always seen it like the Western, you know what I mean? Are they really gonna love when it sounds like us? That challenge was there, but a few people who kept encouraging it, you know, definitely birthed, you know, that space of confidence.
Okay, so there's always this question that I've always been meaning to ask. So does that mean someone expressing himself in the language of English? Because I'll be honest, it's the easiest language for me.
Yeah.
Like you back in that time.
Yeah.
A couple of years, like you're like, all right, cool. I can speak the language. I can speak my native tongue, but spitting in it is something different.
It's a challenge, ain't it?
You're like, all right, cool, okay. It's just a little different here and there, but what I'm trying to get at is does your ideology like completely ridicule or run out anyone else that is spitting in the language of English or anything like that?
No, the Luga Flow entity, and you know, for the listening ear, get it clear right here, live and direct. You know, Luga, first and foremost, is a Swahili word that means languages.
It means languages. That
you understand me? Languages.
I know
okay?
it.
So, knowing that we have been oppressed to lose our own languages in the continent, not only in Uganda, the whole continent, from a colonial perspective, it was much important that if hip-hop culture was going to seed its birth in the continent again, that it reignited the fire of our languages. This is not to disregard the years that we've been in institutions learning. This is to reclaim a sense of, you know, pride, of self-pride. That, you know what, if I want to spit 4 bars in my language, man, I'm cool, man. That's my best 4 bars and what? Versus than always feeling intimidated because you're going to say something in your language. So we do celebrate English MCs. We do celebrate French MCs, all languages on board. But so proudly to say that if you have other languages, especially when you're in a continent, it's like going to New York and you start spitting in English. People are like, where you from? I'm from Uganda. And someone will say, how does hip-hop in your language sound? Then you'll be, you know, short, you know, of your, you know, your presentation because they already got what you're giving them. They want something different. So why not challenge MCs to be rooted, to always come with a double layer? There's what they call a super MC. You know, someone who could rap in more than 2 or 3 different languages. You know, so why not seed those concepts in Uganda so that people don't just emulate, you know, stay in a realm of comfort zone of like, oh, I only know this is how I do it. No, challenge yourself to learn. Life is about learning. And I think that people just were misguided because they saw Luga Flow as, you know, Luganda rap and it's the thing that's centrally like, you know, dominating, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was going against the English rappers, you know, which was the only 2 dominant existing places. So they took up a space in Uganda where it became the common conversation for people to look at it like it was one side, you know, diminishing the other. But it was just encouraging a sense of self-pride.
But a lot of it does sound like you're diminishing the other.
Well, of course it would, but if intellectually you're charged and you tune in, you'll definitely get to adhere to the message within reconnection. The value is in reconnecting.
I get it. I get the value.
Not the language. Your language is key. Language is your key to the journey to reconnect.
Is it?
Well, you could also have that debate.
Is it? Because
without your language, what could you be?
Well,
there you go. You're Ugandan. Okay. The word. Listen, I'm saying Ugandan.
You're saying
is that really proper to you?
Yeah, that is.
Does that define you?
Now, how else?
From whose perspective? From whose perspective are you a Ugandan?
Now how far back do you want to go?
I said the word reconnection, so we could go way back. Reconnection.
Now how far back do you want to go?
As far as you want to go, you could go back to Chua, Kavakas, or whatever tribe you're from, if you have, So you could take us back to that, and speak of how they defined themselves then before they were Ugandan. So to me, our generation is caught up in this facade of finding it easy with all access to be, in a sphere where we've been conditioned for years, and they really don't want to take time out to reconnect. That's a message that's very important to young people on the continent. I grew up abroad. I know what it feels like to be displaced. To feel like you don't have a language. I could be there for 2 to 5 years without speaking my own language. You understand me? So my passion to speak the language I don't speak often becomes very deep. Because I'm like, that's me. And this identity would never be me. It's the whole notion of, do you dream in English or your language? You know what I'm saying? So all of those things thread you to the conditioning you're dealing with. And hip-hop is there to uproot that, because hip-hop stands for originality.
Yeah.
So hip-hop and the identity of originality calls you already out to be the real true essence of what actually breeds you as your root. So school is just a conditioned layer. So if you learn English, if you went to a French school, you'll be rapping in French. If you went to a German school, you'll be rapping in German. But when you're from Africa and you're rapping in German and you can rap in your language, what sense of pride is there to rap in a language that's foreign than your own language? I would like someone to answer that. And I would not like the answer to be, just because it's comfortable, just to be like, on a real, I really want to challenge myself to really be a very good communicator, because hip hop is 100%, communication.
It is.
And so if you can't communicate to your people, especially with the literacy, rate in Uganda, you definitely know I got to disseminate some information for my grandparents, some of them, or for, that demographic that don't get a chance to be educated. You know what I mean? So it's important that our languages are kept alive, not necessarily promoted by the facade of saying, you can only get certified if you rap in English. Because there was that identity where when you rap, kids to rap before, you had to go to school. Before the whole indigenous language came through?
I don't know. For me, what I thought was, at least my thinking is, it's not about having to go to school. It's about knowledge.
Well, knowledge, but knowledge in what way are you going to communicate knowledge?
Now you see, that's a different angle when you're looking at it like that. What way are you going to communicate knowledge? Yeah, but that's the thing. If the way I got the knowledge, and then my entire perception of life and the struggles I've been through, and the joys and the pains, everything here and there. And the easiest way for me to communicate it and to share it to at least someone who I know can relate to it will be in, say, for instance, English.
Yeah, and I'm listen, for our generation, I tell you that I don't devalue that. What I try to challenge it with is to say is that how comfortable are you moving out of the comfort zone to see yourself more? Because trust me, I can rap in English, but man, I find it beautiful every time I explore language. And I'm like, oh wow, that word actually doesn't exist in English. I'm trying to find it, but it doesn't exist. But in my language, it's so powerful and potent. So how can I miss out, right, that journey of self-learning about me, myself, and feel comfortable in just what I was conditioned to move with? It's just like being a Christian when you're born a Christian and you've never explored why you're a Christian.
Okay.
As I'm comfortable being a Christian, that's how I was raised. Does that really make you a Christian?
Well, it's in your practice.
It's just a daily routine. It's not even necessarily a practice. If you're birthed into it, it becomes a routine that you see other people do. Matter of fact, sometimes
at some point it becomes a choice.
Thank you. So when it becomes a choice, that's when the journey begins. And some of us, it takes us years to find that choice. And some of us adhere and accept the conditioning.
But then, what you're saying is, if say for instance, I chose to keep going, say sharing and communicating in English,
I mean, you could go ahead and do that. You've made that choice. But then you're making that choice does not make the gospel of reconnection any lesser. You've just made a choice to say, I want to live in this realm. And yeah, you're entitled. Like, life is given, you know what I mean? Anyone in life's got choice. That's your power. You know what I'm saying? But when you're working with the continent, one thing you realize is the lack of confidence that our young people have. You know, the lack of sense of pride that our young people have. How quickly they could be exploited for whatever extra change, for just a notion of not watching like, oh, this is a Mzungu and they're probably better than me. All of that comes from a lack of language. It comes from a lack of a connectivity to a certain moral value that gives you your own sense of pride. So you see that our young people are easily dwindled anywhere.
I don't know, man. I don't know, because I could throw... Let me see. What's this cat's name? K9. If I throw K9 at the list, and okay, fine. You call it.
Thanks for bringing K9. Great example.
You call him a duo, a super
MC.
Super MC, because he could do both.
Yeah.
But then chose to give us in English.
And I'm gonna ask you one question.
Wait.
Yeah.
I'm still going with this.
Yeah.
And still, did we not connect?
But hold up. Did you notice that his album is full of his language? Did you notice that? And the first thing, his first hit ever that broke him. What language was it?
That was his native
Soba.
Yes.
Okay.
I remember that. I remember that.
So foundationally, what he did to show the world was, I'm Somalian and proud. He still was a good MC in English.
Yeah.
But when it came to come out of the world, what did he do?
He went
back to the roots. Roots are important. That's what I'm trying to get to people to know. Like, trust me, whether you're Dinka, Macholi, you know what I mean? It don't matter who you are. Your roots will always important, and our message stays relevated and embedded in the Luga Flow ethics and principles. You know, the Luga Flow motto, the originality of hip-hop is to represent where you're from. That don't change to make our colonial peers comfortable. You know what I mean? It don't change to devalue language. But it brings, I'm speaking to you in English right now.
Yes, you are.
You understand me?
Yeah.
So I use it as a language of communication. And so when you find me being me, I'm going to be teaching an Englishman about words in my language that don't exist in the English. And I'm like, you fools, you wanted to fool us, huh? Look at the value I got here. Do you want to learn about that? I got something to teach him now. For all the other years, he was teaching me. But now I got what?
Something to teach.
Thank you. So you know what? You're valuable and you got something to teach. So get into it, learn about it, and make it a part of your representation. It's all value, man. Potent, man. Culture is key. Language is key. Heritage is key. Our young people, don't be caught up on our bling stuff. In America, it ain't working anymore. You know, right now we're talking hip-hop and education, not hip-hop and entertainment. You know what I mean? So if you're still trying to push your CD promo or do a single, get it done. But the world is changing, and be a part of the global change that hip-hop is bringing around.
Word.
That's me, man. Listen, I love my English MCs. You know, big out to my man Atlas. Represent. You know.
All right, cool.
It's just, you know, I like keeping it real. Like, do not, you know, taint the message just to be comfortable. You know what I mean? Just say what you feel. Because when you die tomorrow, you ought to say what your spirit stands for. You know what I'm saying? And they'll just share it with will always remember. So I'm not here to fancy anybody or big up anybody or just make myself feel like, oh, I know this, I know that. I'm just here to leave what brought me back to Africa, which was to reconnect to my ancestral spirit, my ancestral energy, to think about my forefathers' legacies. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm doing my Luga Flow thing, yo, it ain't even about me performing. I'm channeling spirits of people that came before me. You know? Yeah, man. So we gotta, you know, bring our people back, you know.
Oh, yeah, sure. But it's about 25 minutes past the hour, 7 p.m. right here on the TFM Hip Hop Show. It's So Severe in the house with Babaluku.
Yes, sir.
And the boy bringing that word, boy bringing that revolution.
Yo, we need more.
Boy bringing that revolution. Shout outs to everyone that's tuned in. Shout outs to Chino. Chino, oh man, he's like, yo, Babaluku speaking jewels on TFM Hip Hop right now. I'm gonna retweet that. Right there,
yo,
man.
The builders era, man. No more artists, man. You're killing us, man. Like, we need to build hip hop. That's my message.
Oh man, there's a couple shout outs coming through from Emord rather. Yo, giving some shout outs as well there on Facebook. Yo, so I'm gonna take a short musical break.
Represent.
The next track coming through from you as well.
Yo, big up, Emord.
Oh yeah.
Tinder, represent.
Oh man, he's fam like that.
Hey, you know some people.
You know your peoples. This one is coming through. It's called Ebibuzo.
The questions.
Oh yeah, and this is the Wax Taylor remix or something like that.
Of course, it's a Wax Taylor remix. I killed it.
Right, let's get onto this one. Keep it right here, 95.9 Touch FM. Don't go nowhere.
Ngatabana menya nasonga